Thank you for downloading episode number 26 of Gamify 24/7. We are back. We're into August now, and we've all been busy for the last couple of weeks, so we had a week off last week, but we are back, and it's a brand new episode. Hello!
Not here again.
Yeah.
Oh, he's there in the background.
He's here, but like in the spirit. That's the spirit of Sean in the background there. So
from the haunted studio.
Yep.
Yeah.
His ghost roams the hallways.
Just to clarify, he is still alive. He's just not got a microphone that's working at the moment. So we'll get that sorted hopefully for next week. It's been a fairly quiet couple of weeks actually, gaming wise, but there are a few things going on. And before we look at some of the news and some of the controversies that have been happening, first of all, what have you guys been playing this last week?
Oh, you want to take the... Because I know what you've been playing, and I'm really hyped to hear your opinion about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'll come to your one last then, I guess, the one that you know about. I have been playing
Hype.
in the last week or two. Firstly, I finished Night in the Woods at last. I know, well done me, finishing a game.
Nice.
It was so good. Like, the ending was really weird. Like, I didn't quite get it at first. It sort of, like, it had been really realistic, I thought, in the way that it was dealing with, like, life in a small town and kind of mental illness and not knowing where you fit in your life and stuff, which sounds really serious and heavy, but it was really funny as well. And then it took this weirdly paranormal twist. I thought, like, all the paranormal stuff would turn out to be like Scooby-Doo. It'll just be, like, a real person, actually, in the end. But it was really weird, and I didn't quite get how the ending fit with the rest of the game. But it was still a really good experience, so I would definitely recommend that you guys play it, or anybody else listening plays it. And I also played, for the first time ever, Dear Esther.
Oh.
I have
yeah.
never... Because you know I'm a fan of an air quotes walking simulator.
Yeah.
So I thought I would give that one a go, since that was kind of the one that started the genre off in the first place. And it was only like £3 for like the director's commentary edition on PS4.
PlayStation 4, I was going to ask.
Of course. Yeah, so I played that, and I can see obviously why it would influence all these other ones. Like, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, I think, was made by the same studio.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, I really enjoyed my Edith Finch one recently, so obviously these were all inspired by it. But I can also see how it was the first one, because it was very, very basic. And I understand it was like a mod for Half-Life 2 at first.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a mod, so like you don't see who you are or know who you are playing it. You're just walking around like this island in the Hebrides. I was very
that's
pleased
cool
to see. It was set in Scotland, so that was nice. And basically just you're walking around and triggering the character that you're playing to sort of read or narrate usually letters. I think he was writing to someone called Esther, so usually it starts with Dear Esther, but also he's telling weird stories about this island in the past and stuff. So you kind of don't really understand why he's there. He's there completely alone. But then, towards the end, I started seeing like a ghostly type thing appearing, and I was like, oh my god. So I started getting quite scared. But yeah, ultimately, for £3, why the heck not? It was only a couple of hours long at most, because there is nothing else to do other than walk around, and you can only walk, of course. Otherwise, I would have run. But at the time, it would have been really pretty and everything. Now it does look a bit dated, but it's still the atmosphere, the music, everything it's all on point. So I would also recommend that. And the game that Anton wants to hear me talk about is Bendy and the Ink Machine, I believe.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, I got the first episode. It works on my laptop, but I don't have a mouse, so the trackpad is not very good when it tells you the button for fighting, and I was like, okay, crap, I have to possibly fight something, this isn't cool. I didn't get that far in, I'm gonna be honest, because I got really scared of it. It was really creepy, even though not that much had happened. It's just like, it's like set in this weird studio type place, but everything's like made of wood, so it's all just like brown everywhere, and it's like old-fashioned Disney is like the theme of this, so like Steamboat Willie type Is that what that was called?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
so,
Cuphead.
Yeah, it's like that style of cartoon is what the bendy is supposed to be like, and you've gone to like find your pal who was he like an artist for them? Because the character you play used to be an artist for them.
I think he used to run the company.
Who
And now
made all these
he's
cartoons and stuff.
mental now.
Yeah, he's like, you go to try and find him because you got some kind of correspondence from him, and he's nowhere to be found. But like you, for some reason, go and turn on this ink machine, and but like the whole time you're there's just like little films of this bendy character playing, and like cutouts of him appearing randomly, and it's just like, ew, why? It's because he looks like he's supposed to be friendly, but you feel like he's not friendly, and also there's definitely some kind of occult thing going on there, because a character I saw was killed in some ritualistic manner, like who looked kind of like Goofy to me, and it made me very sad having just been at Disney recently. Yeah, so it's like an episodic horror game that isn't your traditional horror type thing. And I was quite intrigued by it, but I also think it's too scary for me, so I did watch a playthrough. I watched Markiplier play both episodes, because the second episode has come out now, so I'm getting a bit more into it, but they don't last very long.
Yeah, that's the one thing with them. It's like £3 per episode, but it's like a 30-minute episode.
Yeah, so it's a bit... Whereas normally with like a Telltale or something, you'd at least expect a couple of hours out of it minimum.
Telltale's like a mini game per episode.
Exactly. So I'm interested to see where it's going, definitely, because it's an interesting idea, but it's also creepy as heck. And if it was on PlayStation, I would do it, I think, because the controller would make me feel slightly more safe. But having got no mouse, I just don't think I'd be able to fight anybody very much. So, but yeah, it's totally, it's my style, but it's also really scary. So that's what I've been doing.
Oh, myself. I've been playing everybody's favourite platformer. Favourite platformer, Mighty Number 9. Everybody loves it. Not, but it's a weird game that it's not a bad game, it's just a really uneventful, bland game. I was like, okay, good thing I only paid 70 pence for this. And that's about it. Quiet week, or weeks. How about yourself, Mike?
Well, I wasn't very well the week past last, although I'm starting to get better now, which is good. So I haven't had as much time. Although what I have been doing, I did play a bit more of the Batman Telltale series, the first one, because the second one's out in like a few days. I want to get it finished in time so I can get the new one, because the new one that was announced looks great as well. So I think I'm only on episode 3 or something, so I've only done a couple more hours on that. I had a games night the other night, on Friday night, which was great because I had a night off and I had a few friends around. So we played Bomberman, we played Mario Kart, obviously, and we played Broforce, because we always have 4-player Broforce on the go, which is just ridiculous fun and just carnage. If you've ever played it with friends, it's really good fun. And a little bit of Splatoon, although I didn't get to play Splatfest because I was working all day yesterday, but we were going to move on to talk a bit about Splatfest, because there's been a bit of controversy about the way it's happened. So the idea is you pick a side, tomato or mayo. What did you pick, Anton?
I think I was tomato.
Do you go in the ketchup team?
Yes.
Really? God, guys. I regret that I don't get to play it, because I would have been on the mayo team, of course.
Well, you see, if I would like to have clarified if it was vegan mayo. If it had been vegan mayo, I might have been all right with that. But because they didn't clarify.
Wait a minute. What's vegan mayo? I don't understand how they make that.
I don't even know.
It's just mayonnaise without the
mayo
egg.
is made of eggs.
Is it? Okay.
It's made of eggs.
Nah, you can get brilliant vegan mayo. You know what? I'll bring some next week and I'll show you it over the computer, and then you'll see.
And you can taste it and tell us it tastes.
And I'll go,
just like regular mayo.
Isn't that nice? And you'll
Just
say,
rub it on the
lovely.
webcam.
Yeah, put it all over the camera.
Let's not do that.
What's the primary ingredient in vegan mayo, though? I'm sorry to go back here, but
I can't remember. I'll have to look. I don't want to look or sound silly, because I'll get it wrong.
Okay.
So I'll bring it next week. All right, I'll bring it next week. But I know that tomato is fine. Tomato sauce is fine. So I was like, yeah, I'll go with ketchup.
Tomatoes have feelings too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Tomato people, they are. And so I went with ketchup, and there was a bit of controversy because it seemed to be the popular one, but yet mayo won.
That's because if you were in the Ketchup team, there wasn't enough Mayo to go around, so you have to just play against Ketchups. That's what you get.
Did they not preempt this, like by having like a limit? Like, okay, well you've got to be in Mayo now. Because...
Apparently not, but I think there was some talk of, you know how it's always you're on one team and there's like a character who's kind of leading that team out of the two. I don't know what their names are in this one because I have not got it. Marina and something, I want to say.
I'm not too sure.
The two characters that you get at the start.
The ones that always said
stay
stay fresh in the last one.
Okay.
Remember them?
I do remember them. I don't recall their name, unfortunately.
I don't remember their names either, but I love them. But so there's the new ones of them in Splatoon 2, and I think
give me a second, I'll tell you.
One character, I think she's called Marina. I think she's like the one who was the Ketchup kind of ambassador, and I think that people were saying maybe she's going to have the most popular team every time because people like her.
Oh.
But I don't really know because I don't have the game. I just apparently pay far too much attention to it just to torture myself because I really
the Squid
really
Sisters.
Want to play it. Yeah, I want. I think that Marina or whatever her name is.
I'm trying to remember the other one's name.
Popular one.
It's at the start. You always have the. Is it Callie and Marie? Is it?
That was in the last. I think they were the last ones.
Was it? Well, anyway, the two I kind of don't really pay attention. It's I haven't played enough to.
Well, clearly then it's false. This thing I'm reporting because neither of you know.
Well, to be fair though, I haven't played half as much as I was hoping to. Just the way things have worked out. So, when you come onto the game, basically the first thing that happens is you get an update and it tells you what the current maps are, whatever you're going to be playing, and the two sisters, the Squid Sisters, I think they are there. They then introduce it, and then they've got the don't something or other, stay off the hook, whatever, and then they do the kind of hand thing, and
stay
I can't remember.
Fresh.
Well, it's that basically, but it's been updated. And I can't remember, so it's obviously really worked because I don't remember what it was.
It's fine. You guys will pay attention next time you're on. I'm sure.
I'm going to pay attention to that for next week. But off the hook is don't get cooked. Stay off the hook.
Right.
That's what it is.
Is that the new one?
Don't get cooked. Stay off the hook, and then they got the hand thing.
You might just did a hand thing that looked kind of like a brap thing.
Yeah. It's like a brap,
but just because nobody can see.
There you go, Pearl and Marina. There you go.
Hey, good for me.
So
my research of the game I don't even have. So that's basically people were saying maybe it's because of she's so popular that's the correlation there. But yeah, you'd think they would have planned it out so that this wouldn't happen. But maybe people who like Ketchup are just crybabies, and that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Maybe Mayo won fair and square.
This might be a dumb comment, but don't you think it's like a weird combo? Like, why Mayo? Like,
because
wouldn't you have
can
mustard?
have both on like chips, for instance. So like I could have chips with ketchup or chips
in Holland,
mayonnaise.
Amsterdam. It's very much mayonnaise in Holland. They don't really have ketchup on their chips.
Mayonnaise with chips is the best, and if you haven't tried it, you can try it with your vegan meal.
I've had it plenty of times with vegan meal. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I definitely recommend mayonnaise on toast. Very nice.
Also, it's
all these culinary things.
Yes, exactly. From me,
it's also useful because they're two very distinct colours as well, like from each other. So even people like me can play the colourblind among us, and I think that's the other thing. It's the reason they've done that. So next time they'll go for something
to bring
like
in the colourblind thing again. We should have an update on your colourblind life.
Yeah, because you had a couple of comments.
I've been told it was genuinely interesting. So we should definitely talk about it, and also you can see my new change in hair colour as well.
Well, yes. Well, you've got
colourblind friendly thing for you.
Very friendly for me because I can tell you it's bright orange. And the weird thing is that sometimes orange is quite a tricky colour. Sometimes it looks yellow. Sometimes it looks more kind of red because it is kind of in between. But yours is, I can tell, it's very orange. So that's cool.
I've done this for all the colourblind people in the world.
It was part of the grand plan. That's the original source of inspiration.
I thought I should do it.
But the question is, Kat, what rhymes with orange?
Door hinge. from Drake and
Whoa,
Josh.
That's clever.
Drake and Josh, whatever year that was. I learned that.
Oh, I'm going to have to remember that. That's good. All right, so, but I think, you know, what's cool about Splatoon is that there's a real buzz around it just now, and I've been kind of keeping an eye on the forums and things, because there's a couple of Facebook groups, and it's really buzzing. Like, even though it's been out now, what maybe 2 weeks, is it, I think? Maybe not as long as that, but anyway, it's been out a little while now, and it's doing really well in terms of the buzz. Like, it seems that people are still really, really enjoying it, and I think they're keeping it really fresh with the kind of the Splatfest stuff and updates.
Is the Splatfest only one day now, though? I swear, in the first Splatoon, Splatfest would be a whole weekend, so you would generally have some time to play.
Well, that was.
I think so. Yeah.
So is it?
It was
it
just one
day now?
Because it was one day. This one, because I definitely. By the time that I was finished working yesterday, it was all over. So there's no point in me trying to join in. But
well, if I come into some money, I really, really want to be playing it. So this is like making me want to Switch a little bit, guys. Ooh. I know it's.
Well, you know,
happening.
Interestingly, there's been more announcements of releases for the Switch, and they've been bringing more games as well to the store as well, which is good. And it looks like every week I'm looking and seeing what else has been announced for the Switch. The indie market seems to really be getting behind the Switch, and I think we're going to see a shift towards indie developers developing games for the Switch and then porting elsewhere, because it's such a great combination, the Switch and an indie game, I think, anyway, at this early stage. I don't know what you guys think of that. My thought behind it is that with indie games, often they're a bit shorter. They don't necessarily need as much horsepower, like, you know, they don't need the Xbox X1 or whatever to play it. But what's cool about them as well is that with the Switch you can take it places, and you can play them in short bursts as well. I just think it works really well for indie developers. I don't know what you guys think.
This is why I like my Vita.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You can take it places. That's why I feel like I've not played as much Persona 5. With 4, I would play that wherever I was, because I could just get a little bit of time in and done. Whereas now I have to be at home and want to be potentially committing to a couple of hours on the actual PlayStation. So I can understand why something like the Switch would definitely get backing from indie developers.
Oh, definitely, because I feel like on the go, AAA games don't work the best. Like, look at the Vita. Games like Uncharted, fantastic, but they're not pick up and play.
With that, yeah.
You need those games you can just pick up, play for 10 minutes, and then put down. So stuff like Minecraft and a bunch of these other indie games, they just lend themselves well.
Visual novels and all that as well. It's like, My sister just got a Dream Daddy, by the way.
Oh my god, really?
I have now seen it everywhere. It's taken the internet by storm. I believe the quality of graphics is like Daddy or Dadliest or something like that, or Daddiest, I don't know. Yeah, it looks really
What
fun,
is this?
though. Dream Daddy. Anton was telling us about it a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, I remember, but I've forgotten.
The dad dating sim.
Oh yeah.
Where you decide to exclusively date other dads.
Yeah. I love the backstory of it. It's like, yeah, you're widowed, they died, let's not talk about this. Let's get you some men, let's get into this.
Just other dads now for you.
Is this PC only?
Yeah, unfortunately, so.
I can't wait. I hope that they bring it out for like VR or something, because I would be all over that, honestly.
You need daddies on the go. That's
so
the
excited.
future.
I really want to play it. If my sister reports that it's good, then perhaps.
And it's a decent price. Like, it's only like £12 day one. So by the time the winter sales roll around, like, going to be a couple pounds hopefully.
I've still got 2 dating sims on the go though, that on my Vita, that I do need to finish. One involved me having amnesia and needing to date a man to reclaim my memories, apparently. And
I mean, sure.
Well, yeah, I managed one of the stories. It's always a guy who seems to think that he knows you, though, so I think that that's what it is that you're like, oh, he must know me, so maybe he'll be able to give me my memories back. And then the other one was one, I can't remember, it was Code Realize is what it was called.
Okay.
And that involved me being toxic, like I was locked up in a mansion by my father for many years, and then Arsène Lupin, the famous French fictional detective, he was a thief. He was a
Okay.
thief or something. He like rescued me, and then yeah, there's many fictional characters from old literature that I could go out with in this one.
Talking
How
about
bizarre.
dating simulators, I was thinking about this the other day. You know how Pokemon's just doing every single genre? They're like, oh, let's have a detective one.
Oh my
Let's
God,
have a
Pokemon
fighting game.
dating sim.
Exactly. Could you imagine?
Would you be a person going out with a Pokemon, or would you be a Pokemon going out with another different species of Pokemon?
These are the questions we need to figure out, but I just think
I would
Pokemon
open-
should just do every genre now. Just go
They
for
should
them all.
definitely. They should definitely
All
do
sorts
that.
of possibilities, like human Charizards and
That does not sound nice.
no, that is weird. That is very strange.
No.
Jigglypuff and
Some of the weird humanoidish though, like Mr. Mime. He's a bit too human a Pokemon already. It's just no.
Okay, well, this
Things
is
are getting confusing.
I was going to say this podcast has taken a weird turn. But let's get on to some other news then. We've got news that the Bioware Montreal division is shutting down. Now, they're the team behind Mass Effect, so that's interesting after Andromeda.
That's definitely interesting after Andromeda. I guess it just goes to show that you can't make a terrible game or you'll lose your job, which is maybe the way it should be. A lot of money went into it though.
Have either you guys had a chance to play any of Andromeda at all?
No.
I probably have had the chance, but I've not had the desire to play it, purely because like, after 3, hearing that a Mass Effect game is rubbish has made me very much believe it, and I'm sorry to judge it without playing it, but it's like No Man's Sky. I doubt I'll ever play it after the terrible reviews.
See, I'm interested in that one because you can find that game for like £12 these days. So.
There's a reason for that.
True. But talking about the EA closing down Bioware Montreal, I'm getting a bit concerned for EA because they've got in the habit of closing down companies after games bomb. It's like, why are so many of your games bombing and then you just close down the studio? Like they just
Instead of being like, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, shh, it's done.
Okay,
You're over now, go away.
you don't exist. DICE, take some more games.
I guess it depends on which way you look at it, because some people might argue that they're being really proactive and saying, well, actually, if you do, as you said, Kat, if you do a bad job, you're not getting to make another one. So maybe they are actually doing this the right way and just kind of saying that if something's substandard, then there is no second chances.
I get, but like that's how business works, I suppose. But at the same time, I don't think there should be as much of a games are business relationship as there is now. That's kind of EA's thing, though. That's what people know them as, is kind of money grabbing. They want to make all the money, like Ubisoft and stuff as well.
Well, that's true.
So, which is why I think lots of indie games and stuff do very well, because those are made by people who just had a good idea and genuinely liked what they were doing and did it, even though they didn't have all the money.
And as well, it's that.
So you know what I mean? I don't. If you get into the sort of habit in your business of sacking people who don't do, or they did what you wanted them to do, but it didn't turn out well, you're not going to end up with people who actually want to be there. Like, I wouldn't want to go to EA now because I'd be like, whoa, they're just going to sack me if this turns out bad, even though they told me to make it. So.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Speaking of new games and indie games and re-releases, I've just got in the post yesterday Cave Story Plus on the Switch, and it's really cool because I got it on Amazon America, the American Amazon, and it never was arriving. And I went and checked the status, and it said, out for delivery like 12 days ago. So I got in touch with them, and they sent me another copy immediately. It was great, really good service, as often is. And in the box, there's a little booklet with the story, the backstory before Cave Story, the game begins, and it's a little kind of really nicely drawn booklet. And there's a tiny little CD in it with I don't know. I'm assuming like music or something from it,
Do you
but it's
mean
a CD.
like a tiny CD, like a mini disc?
Like a mini, no, yeah, well, not even a mini disc, but like it's a CD the size of a mini disc that works in a normal CD player, but it's just half the size of a normal CD. You used to get them for a while. I remember them being quite fashionable for about 6 months in about 1999.
I remember that
Yeah,
during the
yeah.
was it not during the World Cup at some point they were
Yeah,
quite fashionable
possibly
during the
'98 World Cup or something.
Yeah, I think
and
so. I got a Coca-Cola one for
yeah,
some World Cup themed music.
sounds about right.
And
But
they
I just
were like a weird little CD that worked in like the computer drive.
what I suspect this is because it's 2017. There's not many things you're getting an additional CD with as a bonus, right? So I think these are probably CDs they've had lying about since 2004 or whatever when the game was actually made, and they've just thought, you know what, this is a cool little extra. Let's put these in with the games. But you know what? It's actually really cool because it feels like, you know what it's like these days. You don't get instruction booklets with games.
Oh, I know.
You don't,
I'm really sad
You don't
about
get
that.
extras. You know,
I miss all the
it's-
little things that told you the story inside a book. I miss that. I used to read that to hype me up for the game before I played it.
Yeah, so this little booklet, it's lovely. It's really well done. It's been done kind of, you know, you can get the story, you get to meet the characters, and yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. I think I got quite a good deal on it because they were doing a deal on the US store on Amazon, but I would much rather do that and spend a bit of money and pay an extra $5 or whatever than get the download, as much as the download is convenient. So anyway, it was just an extra. Again, you're talking about the difference between people who are making games and putting real kind of care behind it versus what EA are doing at the moment with a lot of their projects. Not everything, but a lot of them.
To them. And that it shows clearly. So
Yeah, it's really terrifying for like when you look at your favorite developers and think if they do one mistake wrong, they're gone. It isn't like, oh, they've had a couple failures. Like they've had like 2 games that flopped. It's like, oh, that SimCity's failed. Yep, Maxis are gone. It's like that kind of one step out of line, you're gone.
And that's not the sort of environment you want to encourage, because then it'll stop people from wanting to make games, because you could see that as kind of a bad life investment for yourself, a bad like career choice, because your artistic vision might not turn out to be financially successful, and that shouldn't really be the way that someone creative feels, because not everyone's going to like everything that you do. So it's just, you know what I mean, I don't want to ever get into the point where it's discouraging people from actually making games, because I want people to keep making games, please do.
So speaking of keeping making games, Activision have talked about possibly some more remasters. So they're
good time
remastering some old games. You like that? That was smooth, wasn't it? Crash Bandicoot, we know, has been very successful. They haven't really released any kind of definitive figures yet, but we know it's been successful. It's been sitting at the top of the charts.
Actually, it was I think it's the most downloaded PS4 title in July.
Brilliant.
For I think the US and the UK. It's been doing really well in the UK actually, downloads wise, so it's done very, very well, and I think it took the top spot towards the end of June when it came out. For that first week that it came out, it was number 1 as well. So
well, they're going to be oh, hang on a second. I've managed to press a button and had about 100 different things going off in my ears. It was like, and the volume's really high, so I can hear you guys and myself. So it was like, you know, and of course, never mind. It was a very noisy advert anyway. So yeah, Activision. I think it's StarCraft. They're going to be doing a remastered version of that very soon. Or it's coming out next week, I think, or the week after. But it does open up possibilities for more games. Is there anything that you guys would like to see?
Definitely. Not so much from Activision or anything specifically, but...
Well, I think this will trigger other people for sure. I mean,
this
I think...
is a bit of a rubbish one to say now that we've just had a talk about Bioware, but I really want a Jade Empire. If I can't get the next one, I want a remaster. Also, Knights of the Old Republic would be awesome.
I feel like this one could be possible. I would love them to redo Spiral. I
would like it too. I've got it on my Vita, as I keep on saying all the time. They're some of my favourite PS1 games. So I've got like the trilogy, the first 3 on my Vita, which are just like ports of the PS1 version. So there's no trophies, and everybody looks awful and everything is awful and it's very easy. But I really would like it if they did. I think if they did a Spyro remaster, they would do just as well as the Crash Bandicoot remaster.
Yeah. I really think they need to kind of do what they did with Rayman Origins, because like Rayman got really attached to rabbits and that almost killed Rayman, but then they brought back Origins. So I think we need something like that for Spyro, because they got that all attached with Skylanders.
Yeah, Spyro went off on a bit of a tangent, didn't he? Ended up with all the Skylanders in it. I think it cheapened him because he was very good in his own games, except for the ones that came out after the third one. The third one was like the best one in my opinion.
I think once we get to the 360, just all 3D platformers were like, how do we do these?
There was one, like there was a Spyro game on like the original Xbox that I think was also terrible.
Oh.
I think it was Year of the Dragonfly or something.
Oh yeah, I remember. That was like, that came out after like the fifth Crash game that came around. They came out like the same sort of time. I remember going for Crash at the time.
Yeah, so everything just went a bit.
Times all round.
So that's what they need to do. They need to go back to when these games were amazing. Like Croc as well is a great one.
That's right, Croc. I remember
from
Croc.
DS1. That would be, it used to make me so sad. All those wee gobbles they were called. You'd be rescuing them. Oh,
I wonder if they'll do the anything with the Tony Hawk games, because they were hugely
amazing,
popular.
Yeah. Well, then the new one came out a couple of years ago, didn't it? And bombed.
Yeah. But I mean, again, a remaster of kind of the original as a download would work pretty well. Or the second one, maybe. I think there was the second one was slightly better. I can't really remember now, but
yeah, I think they should definitely. It's a good moneymaker. It's got the nostalgia thing that everybody really likes, but also I think standalone wise, it would still be fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Activision's lost the license for Tony Hawk. And that's why they didn't put any effort into Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, because they knew they wouldn't have to sell a sequel. They're like, this one can ruin the reputation of the franchise because we're not making a sixth one. So I think unfortunately we're out of luck there.
Because they bought it.
Damn business world.
They took over the license from, I think, someone else before that. I don't think they did it originally. It was Neversoft or someone like that, the original game. But yeah, that's a shame. I mean, apart from that, I think good shout with Spyro. I think Croc as well would be cool. You know, just as a I think platformers. The thing about it right now is that it's kind of the right time for a revival of a lot of platformers, because if you're looking 15, 20 years ago, a lot of the games on the PlayStation 1, maybe PlayStation 2, GameCube, that kind of era, Dreamcast, that's now becoming, we're now at the stage where those are retro, or they're at the borderline of retro into PlayStation 2 for a lot of people. And I think that a lot of those games will do really well just because of the nostalgia factor. But if they do them as well as they've done Crash Bandicoot, and like Ratchet and Clank was done, then there's no reason why they can't, revisit some of these games. So it'll be interesting to see if how that goes. Let's face it, if you look at the success of the NES Mini and then the SNES Mini, there's definitely a big market right now. And it brings me nicely on to another story that I saw today, that someone has just paid £23,000 for a mint copy of Super Mario Brothers. Now this is on the NES, so like proper original. It's still got its plastic seal on it. It's got the $26.99 sticker from the shop on it. It's never been opened. There were 40 million copies of it sold, but someone's just paid £23,000 for it. Are they mad?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because it's nice to have stuff to collect. Like, I've got some stuff. Like, I've got my copy of Rule of Rose that is still sealed, and I will never open it because it's very rare to me, and also I'm just like, this is cool to have. But also, that didn't cost 20 grand.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to pay that much for something you're not going to play, you're a bit mental. Sorry. Yeah,
like you could buy so many games for that.
You could, because games are. This is a very philosophical episode for me, because I keep on saying like it's all about experience. So guys, and like I can understand getting a mint copy of a game that you really like if it doesn't cost the world, and you can keep that as a bit of a collector's special to you item. But like, did he really, or she, I guess, whoever it was, really like that game that much?
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, because it was actually a professional video game seller in Pennsylvania called DK Oldies that bought it. So they're a proper collector. So in other words, they probably kept it in order to either display it or to keep it for future or to have it on sale for something ridiculous until someone buys. You know, there's a kind of business reason behind it rather than a sentimental reason, which is interesting because, yeah, I would have liked it. There was a copy. If you're ever at a car boot sale and you come across Family Fitness Stadium Events by Bandai on the NES, buy it, no matter how much it is. Well, because I mean, if it's over £76,500, don't bother. But if it's less than that, you're going to make profit. That's how much it's sold for on eBay. £76,500. It's just over $100,000 it went for.
Right, I need to go to more car boot sales, clearly, just to look for these things.
Yeah. I guess when we do think of it as a business move, it's only going to go up in price, this copy of Mario Bros. So eventually he will be making a profit at the end of the day, unless his house burns down.
True that. But well, what if the game had like degraded inside the box for some reason, and then someone actually wanted to open it, and it was just like you paid for a box full of ashes or something? Mario's ashes.
They reckon there's probably about 12 copies of that game sealed still available around the world. So there are other copies out there, but not many. So it's a bit like the ET thing.
I'm going to keep my sealed copy of Destiny that I didn't want.
Yeah, I've got a few
So
games.
that'll be alright in it, like when I'm 50 or something. Do you think my sealed copy of Destiny for PS4 will be good?
Don't get rid of it. You never know.
It's annoying once you have... See, I've been like in the collecting scene, like a while ago I used to be hardcore into collecting a lot of games, so it's like I've got old Pong consoles, like everything's back to Pong forward, I've kind of got bits and bobs all around. So I'm just sitting here, it's like when a game gets to that point where it's like maybe a PS2 game I've got now, it's like if it's still sealed, I'm like, do I open it or do I keep it sealed? And it's just that inner turmoil.
Yeah.
And then you've got games on the border where you're just like, it's 3 years old, but should I just open it and play it?
Yeah, I've got a few that are still sealed. I've still got Divinity Original Sin sealed as well.
What platform's that?
PS4.
Oh.
It's like an RPG. It's a major RPG, so that's why I've just been like, I don't have time to get into something like this right now, and also you can do it co-op, so I'm just waiting for someone to want to play it co-op with me. Play games with new people.
Talking about having sealed games, I had like maybe up until like 2 years ago. 2 years ago now, I had a sealed Mega Drive game, and it got ruined when I was moving.
No.
It was. Do you remember that? It was like the hockey game that was like super violent.
Oh yeah. What was it called now? I always wanted it and never had it. I mean, there's a few hockey games. In fact, there was actually a surprising amount of hockey games on the Mega Drive, but they did play really well. They were always really, really, really good. Was it Mutant League Hockey?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
They recently rebooted that as well. Sorry, sidetracked.
They did. I saw that. But yeah, I think that would have been a nice one to have had sealed. But well, never mind. Let's not talk about it for too long. Sore point. There's also this week, it's been announced, or it was actually announced just over a week ago, but we've not been here for 2 weeks, and it doesn't come into effect just yet, but PlayStation Plus have announced a price hike for Europe. Now, it means that from the end of August, the annual price is going to go up by 25%, so it's currently $39.99, and it's going to go up to $49.99. Interestingly, this month, Just Cause 3, is it Just Cause 3, or is it no? It's Just Cause, whatever the Just Cause is they've given you. They've given you
3.
Yeah, 3 is the PS4 one.
Yeah.
And the standalone Assassin's Creed game that is an expansion, but you can play it as a standalone.
Yeah, it's an expansion for Black Flag, but it's a standalone.
But you can play it without having Black Flag. They've both been this month's free games for the PlayStation 4, which is the first time that they've gone for a proper kind of AAA title like Just Cause. Now, I know Just Cause has got its haters, and some people are not very keen on Just Cause 3, but it's interesting that that's happened just as they announced this. Do we think that that's going to have a major dent on PlayStation's kind of take-up of of paying for it. My problem with it is once you're in, it's kind of hard to get out because once you leave, you've got that back catalogue of games.
I know you've got stuff and you can't play them anymore because you've not got your PS Plus, and also you need it to play online now competitively and stuff, which they didn't used to need, but they do now, which I think is a bit of a scam because everyone used to, all like the Sony fanboys when I was into my 360 more. We'd all be like, oh well, it doesn't cost us to play online because I would pay for my Xbox Live subscription, and then it's like, but it does now, and it's just kind of like, come on, because I think that will take over the price that Xbox Live costs for a year because they were both like the same really, and you had your games with Gold and you had obviously like your games with PS Plus. So now I'm like, why are you doing this? Because like I don't even like most of the games that they do on PS Plus.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll be like, oh, might as well just claim this one just in case. But I don't actually play half of them unless, like, I've played like the Telltale ones and that's about it.
Yeah, it looks especially bad now that we've got the Switch Online coming along in a year. It's like, that's what, round about the £20 mark they're going for? So it's like, that's such a big difference for essentially a very similar feature set. Well, for paying £20, I'm happy not getting PS Plus games.
Like, I know you also get more discounts when you're a PS Plus member in the sales and stuff like that. But most of the time, again, it doesn't affect me that much. So start a petition, everyone. Let's tell them to not do it, because why even bother? Why do it, guys?
Well, I was speaking to a friend of mine this week, and he says that he's not going to renew his PlayStation Plus this time round.
He
says,
Sony? You hear that?
Well, he says that the thing is that I'm not really playing enough. He's got a Switch as well now, and he's playing a bit more of the Switch anyway. But he's like, well, you know what? I don't really play any of the games that come as a free game, and to be honest, for the amount of time I play online, it's just not really worth it. So. I think there will be a few people who kind of just get it just for the odd thing here and there. I think the people that play online a lot, it's going to make no difference. I think they'll do it anyway. But it is quite a lot of money, I think. I think it was priced fairly before, but I think there's a lot of value, even in the games they do. I will stand up for them to a point, but I think that we were at a point near the end of the PlayStation 3 cycle. We were getting some brilliant games on PlayStation Plus, and you don't expect to get that same quality near the early part of a cycle with a new console. But we are kind of getting into PlayStation 4 cycle quite heavily now. We're well into it now, and I would have expected the games to be of a slightly higher caliber than they have been generally. So maybe we will see that. Maybe that'll be the payoff. Maybe we're going to see better games, more incentives.
Hope so.
I hope so, but I don't know.
Here's some kind of food for thought. Would you think it'd be a good move for Sony to make a budget version of PlayStation Plus that ditched the games for Gold?
Yeah, like a
Games
basic.
for Gold was like a premium service like it used to be.
If there was just a basic, you're paying this to play online and get discounts in the sales, fine. Like, you don't need to give me the free games. If it costs less for me, I'd be cool with that.
It's like, looking back, it used to cost some like the full £40 just to be 4 games. So I imagine these games must be eating up quite a lot of that money. And let's be real, a lot of people who are buying PS Plus are just going in there and have it so they can play Overwatch and Call of Duty and FIFA and there's whatever games it may be.
Yeah, like I don't even play Overwatch like that much. Not that much. Not as much as I used to.
I think it would be really popular if you could do that for like £20 a year.
Like £20, and you just get online play and maybe some of the discounts.
I also think that Sony will view that very much as a loss rather than an earner, because I don't think they'll get anyone new signing up. I think that's their problem. I think if there was a way to, because my thoughts are that the people who are paying now are paying anyway. They're locked in because, excuse me, they're locked in because they play these games and they have to pay that money. And I think that if it was the start of a new console, then yeah, you could do that. But I think at this stage, they've got people anyway, and I just don't think they're just not gonna do it. As much as I would love that, I just don't see it happening, sadly, which is frustrating because it's a great idea.
Yeah, because even like in the where I am, I don't have PlayStation Plus. But if they just made it so I could just get the games at like a slightly less price. Like if they just separated those services.
Yeah,
out,
so you could pick one. Like if you wanted just online player, you wanted the games, or you could pay like the £50 for both.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That would be much better because for people who don't play online or whatever, but just wanted the games.
Saying that, I guess that's kind of like what we've got right now with the new Xbox Game Pass, I believe it is. I guess that's pretty much the same thing now, if I think about it.
Okay, I'm going to look. What we're going to do to finish off with today is I've got some of the August releases on various consoles and PC. I'm going to go through a few of them, and you can tell me. We'll go through the release date. These are all the ones that are coming out in the next couple of weeks, and we can see if there's anything here that's of interest and anything that you want to mention. Okay, so let's start with the games that are being released on Tuesday the 8th, which is just a couple of days' time. First of all, we have the new Batman the Enemy Within Telltale series. Episode 1 is coming on Xbox, PlayStation and PC. I am sticking a big hand up for yes please, although I have to finish the last one, so I might not get it day one. You guys?
I've just picked up the first Batman, so I'm going to have to see.
I've not played the Batman one yet, so I'm not going to get the second one immediately. I'm still, I'm actually going through Borderlands again, because I got that with PS Plus a couple of months ago. So I'm just on the trophy collection now, because I've already played it. But I think if I was going to get a Telltale game, it would probably be The Walking Dead Season 3, because I've not played that yet before Season 4 comes out eventually.
Okay, well, it is great if you get a chance to play it. Then if you like Batman, then you'll love it. And if you don't like Batman, it's still good. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest, in terms of the story. It makes sense. But it develops well. It's a really well-developed story, actually. It's very well written, which, to be fair, most Telltale games are. But it's just really good. We've also got a game called, you'll love this one, Cat Quest, coming out on PlayStation 4.
Quest? Oh my god.
PlayStation 4 and PC, and you play as a cat, as far as I can see. And it looks... I'm not really sure what this is. I'm trying to kind of get my head around this very quickly because I don't really know this, but I can't even quite... I'm trying to see if I can get any info on it. But it's called Cat Quest, so surely, Cat, you're in. That
I'd sound like I'm in. Like if you play as a cat and the
quest. Can I read you the description of this? Because you're gonna love it.
Please.
Cat Quest is an open-world RPG set in the possum world of cats. In search of your catnapped sister, you pounce into the massive continent of Feline Guard, a world crafted in the style of overworld maps of yore and purring with cat-tastic characters, stories and puns.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing!
Good does this sound? I'm just I've got the trailer playing here, and it just looks hilarious and very cartoony, and there's
Can I
lots
customize my cat character? Is a big RPG
I'm trying to
for me.
I'm trying to figure that out.
For any game that advertises puns as a selling feature, I'm like, I'm in.
There are puns, yes. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
That sounds good. I'm excited for that then. I want to try
you've got the ancient spells of Lighten Yan, Flame Purr, and Heel Paw. They're all You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Okay,
so that's out Tuesday the 8th. So just coming out. Well. 2 days time from now, from when we're recording this. It's called Cat Quest. It's out on PlayStation 4 and PC. Also coming out on Tuesday, we've got Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 on Xbox, PlayStation and PC. And any of you guys going to be looking at that? I mean, it'll be good, but I don't know if I've got time to play it.
I've never played any of them, so no.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here. Maybe I would have considered it for Switch, but home console, not my cup of tea.
Friday the 11th of October. Yeah, Vita. That's. Do you know it's funny, Anton? We had this discussion a couple of weeks ago. If a new game came out on both Vita, on Switch, or Vita, or on a home console, what you would go for. And it's funny how many times now I'm going for the portable version just because I can take it with me. But particularly Switch is the kind of the thing that I'm going for at the moment, just because I'm actually finding myself waiting for the game to come out on a Switch instead of getting the PlayStation version, even though I'm probably going to pay a premium for it, just because it gives me more options. Anyway, Friday the 11th, Night Trap, the 25th anniversary edition on PlayStation 4 is coming out. I know you're all psyched about this.
Have you ever heard of Night Trap?
No.
It's like one of the Mega CD full motion video games. It was like one of the ones that inspired them getting like the rating system put in place.
Oh,
I was away to say it has proper acting, but what I meant by that, it has people acting. It's not proper acting in any way, shape, or form. It's just acting, but they've cleaned up the original footage and remastered all the original, because obviously on the Mega CD the footage was pretty grainy and kind of basic, but they've cleaned it all up and they've actually got hold of all the original footage. So it's apparently the reviews insofar say it's really badly acted and very crude, but it's a kind of history thing, I think, more than anything. It's there because it's a proper kind of example of how much things advanced just with that technology and where it's come from there, but it's interesting. I'll probably watch it on YouTube or something. I don't think I'm going to buy it. We've also got, next week, we've got a few ones coming out. Sonic Mania's coming out on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
Ooh, sold.
Yeah, I'm not really that into Sonic, so...
I find it funny, on the first podcast, we had a question where it was what games we were planning to buy, and that was the one game I said, so it's the only game I need in life.
There we go.
I knew you'd be on that. I knew that was definitely happening. I think I probably will end up getting it. The signs look pretty good for it so far, so I'm excited about that. And the price seems to be reasonable. It doesn't seem to be too heavy. I think I saw it was under the £20 mark. Is that right?
It's £16 on Switch and then £13 on PC, and it's about the longest Sonic game they've ever made. It's about the same length of Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 Knuckles. So it looks to be a decent value for money.
Cool. We've got Nidhogg 2 coming out on the PlayStation 4 and PC. I mentioned this game to you before. If you get a chance, have a go of Nidhogg 1. It is very good. Undertale's coming out on PlayStation 4 and Vita.
Oh, yes.
That looks quite good.
I've never played it, so I'm not sure whether
what did you... I think I've misheard. I thought Mike said Undertale.
I thought you said Nidhogg there.
I said Nidhogg and then Undertale.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Nidhogg, but Undertale. No. Undertale, the story with Undertale, I'm going to just say here, is I did not pre-order the physical edition, and I'm very sad about this. It's making me very sad. The reason is, as we remember, previously I was like in minus money, and then it had already opened for pre-orders by this point. I was at my minus money, so I couldn't pre-order it at that point. So when I went to do it, when I had actual money, the time for, it's coming out in September, and by this point, pre-orders were only being taken for December. And I was like, oh, I've clearly missed that window. And then I was like, do you know what, fine, I'll do it anyway. But then I was like, my lease is up in December, and what if we decide to move? So then I was like, I'm not letting some person possibly get my locket. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it and see if I can get it closer to the time once I know what's going on. So I'm very sad, and I've also got in the back of my mind, if worst comes to worst, I can download and then maybe find someone who's just selling the locket on eBay or something and just get it for myself. Because that was the main thing I wanted. I would have liked all of it, but that was the main thing.
It goes back to the thing we've talked about a lot today, is the collectors thing and the extras that you get with smaller companies who are putting their kind of soul into the games as well. So it's a nice little extra. Speaking of that, there's a game coming out that I'm definitely going to get, but this is an example of where I'm not going to get it on the PlayStation 4. It comes out on PS4 on Tuesday the 22nd of August, but I know it's coming to the Switch as well, and it's Thimbleweed Park. Do you know this game, guys?
It rings a bell.
So yeah, these are the guys behind Escape from Monkey Island, which was the old point and click.
I love the Monkey Island game.
Thimbleweed Park is a point and click adventure. It's a detective kind of story. It's very witty. It's very funny.
This sounds just up my street.
Well, if you want, you can get it on Steam now. It's on. You can get it on PC. It gets 10 out of 10. It's literally...
Is it coming out on anything else?
PlayStation 4 on the 27th of August.
Thank you, Mike. That's 2 days after payday, so that might do me.
It is really, really good. So these are the guys. This is created by 2 guys who were behind The Secret of Monkey Island, the original Monkey Island game.
The original, that's so good.
The very original one, and they've done other stuff in between, but this was actually a crowdfunded game originally, Thimbleweed Park, based on the fact that they created this one, and the reviews on this are outstandingly good. Like, we're talking, if it's a 10 out of 10 or a 9.7 out of 10. It's that good, and it's very witty. Go and check out the trailer if you haven't seen it already. There's a thimbleweedpark.com, I think it is the website, but go and look it up. You're going to want to buy it and you're going to want to play it. But I'm going to wait for the Switch version, just because, again, it's that portability thing for me. It's just having the option, and I know it's coming out on the Switch. It was announced for Switch just 2 days after they announced PlayStation, so that's exciting. That's
good. I like my point and clicks, and I loved Monkey Island, so
you're gonna love this one. So if you play it, you can tell me if it's any good, and you can don't tell me too much, because spoilers. Okay. And then I'm going to give you one more just now, and then that's us for releases this week. And that's a game coming out on Wednesday, 23rd of August. It's Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. This started out as an expansion, but it's now become its kind of own standalone thing. PlayStation 4. Are you guys going to be interested? We've talked about Uncharted at length in the past. Is this interesting to you?
No, the short answer. I've still not finished Uncharted 2, so...
Yeah, I'm the same. I've started 3, didn't know what was going on, so I've got all of them now. Well, I've not got 4. I've got the original
1, 2,
trilogy.
And 3, yeah.
So I'm waiting to get into them. But
you'll be waiting a while then, and don't go there. I just didn't like it that much. I just thought it was a bit...
I was a fan of
action-y.
2. I was a fan of 2, and I liken it to like watching a Dan Brown movie. Like, you know that thing where it's not...
It's over the top, and you're like...
It's completely over the top, and you don't necessarily need to be thinking too much all the time, about what's happening with the storyline.
You
can kind of go with it.
You're just running around in a jungle generally, shooting people, and not really remembering what you're even looking for.
Having said that, what I found with 2 was the more I played, the more I got into it. And this is my problem with these games, is when I stop playing it, if I stop playing Uncharted, I don't go back to it very quickly. I have to kind of keep the theme with it.
It's like a year since I've even played it, just because
I'm the same.
I stopped to play something else, and then I was like, actually I wasn't having that good a time. It was just out of habit.
I tried the Vita one. That one is impressive for a Vita game. Like,
it is.
It looks like a PS3 game on a Vita. It's a good, for a day one game, that's quite good. But there was no puzzles in that one. So when I got Uncharted 3, I was like, I have to think? Ooh.
And it's funny, because that's what I didn't like about the Vita one, was that there was no puzzles. It was that kind of, that what you were used to, because I played the Uncharted before I played the Vita version. I was kind of like, where's the puzzles? And I liked the Vita version. It just wasn't, for me, as good as 2. But the last one, I'm kind of like halfway through Uncharted 4, and I think I'm going to have to go back and start again, because it's been so long since I picked it up and played it. So, but I am going to do it. I've got it on my list to do at some point. Christmas, that's when you play all the games. That's when you get time to play these things, and then you get new games and you don't play them, and it's a never-ending loop. It's like Inception for games. Or something. Anyway, that's about it this week. Is there anything else that you want to mention before we finish up? Or have we... I know there's so much more we can talk about, but there always is.
I think that's pretty much it.
I
There
don't think so.
It's been a quiet couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We had the news about Resident Evil Revelations, just briefly, on the Switch, which is cool. They're going to be releasing the 2 of them, I think. So that's kind of cool. Some more Switch news there, and more support for the Switch. Yeah,
they've announced this new racing simulator called Gearbox Unlimited. It's done by the people who did Test Drive and Rally Race something. Well, it's kind of weird, because when you think simulation racing, you don't think Nintendo Switch. But
no.
Yeah.
It's kind of an odd one, but I'm curious about it, because the original Test Drive Unlimited was good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing actually how things develop. I've said this already, but it has been really interesting watching how things develop with the Switch. So I think we'll be talking about that for episodes to come for sure. That's pretty much it then this week. Just a reminder as well, you can get our podcast on iTunes, you can get it on SoundCloud and YouTube. You can comment on the YouTube page as well, and if you want a shout out, you can give us a mention. Even on Twitter as well, you can say hello to us. I guess if you use hashtag Gamify 24/7, one of us will maybe check at some point, and just get in touch with us. Really, we'd love to hear from people as well. And if there's anything that you want us to feature on the show, then let us know, and we'll do that too. That's about it, guys. Enjoy your week, and we'll be back for episode 27 in a week's time. Until then, we will see you soon, and goodbye.